a warm welcome to the Alliance Services Hampton Downs International. It's an absolutely gorgeous day here, just outside Auckland. Hampton Downs, of course, one of the most famous circuits here in New Zealand. I'm Jonathan Green, and alongside me, Ronan Murphy, as we get ready for the following race 2 of the 86 Championship. Looking forward to this one as always. And Ronan, these conditions are exactly what you'd want as a racing driver, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here this morning, this beautiful, fine Sunday morning, Jonathan. It's good to be back, and I'm just as pumped as you are for this one, for the race 2 this morning of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship.
And why we're excited, it's a reverse top 10, and you can see Justin Allen starts 10th. He won the first race, and so Josh Bethune will be alongside him, and we expect those guys, the faster guys from race 1, to come through, but it's the youngsters at the front, and the one that I'm looking at is the man who was pole position, Arthur Braun, starts 4th. Now, if he gets a better start, because he didn't have the best of starts last time, he could be a factor in this race, couldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely going to be a factor, and so is the championship leader, Hugo Allen, off P5 there. So he obviously made his way from 14th to finish 6th yesterday. He did a great job, and obviously, yeah, plays a part in that reverse top 10 race. He's going to be a bit of a fox in the henhouse there off the grid in P5, so we shouldn't be too far away. The lights are up.
Here we go. Lights are on. Out they go, and away we go for the Bridgestone GR86 Race 2. And away goes the Australian in the 24, all white, of Everett, and he takes the whole shot. Nicely done. Round the outside, a couple of drivers trying their hand at going wide. And not too wide, you don't want to get on the grass there, but they're all safely through. But look at this, side by side for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th.
And Everett's done a great job to take the lead cleanly away, and he's way out front by himself there with a couple of car length gap to the next couple of cars. As we see there, the 43 Cameron Hill, he's done a great job to move up there into 2nd, past Emerson Vincent. Championship leader Hugo Allen, he's trying to go around the outside of Zach Blinko there for 4th place. Drop back there into 5th, and Arthur Braun, the pole sitter from yesterday. The 2 pack and save cars, we've got Chris White Jr. there as well. Braun's gone a bit wide, and Jr.'s managed to move up there past him there for 6th place.
Keeping an eye on Justin Allen, still 10th. Bethune ahead of him in 9th. Townsend 8th on the podium yesterday, and Chris White could be another one to watch to come forward. The Hugo Allen is the championship leader, and it's getting a little tasty as the 10 and the 34 come together.
Yeah, bit of Biff and Barge there for some of those guys there, a little bit further back in the field. But as we go back to the front, we've got Everett's now having to defend pretty hard from Cameron Hill there, and Emerson Vincent also playing a part. The 2 pack and save cars can't seem to separate. They're still together there. Josh Bethune's there and behind them in the right cuts by M2 competition, number 32. And Hayden Baccaris, our pole sitter and race 1 winner from round 1's there just behind.
Huge field of 26 cars, 10 laps for this race 2. And of course, a feature race later today, but so far so good for the leading man at the moment, Lachlan Everett of Australia. Says he loves the tracks here in New Zealand, perhaps almost prefers them to where he races in Australia. Hasn't done that much racing yet, he's still a youngster, but Vincent now putting the pressure on, as you can see. Gets a little bit of a slipstream, goes to the outside, it's going to be hard to make it right there, but he slides back into the apex, but he's got this and got good drive, and now he'll go for it now. Ronan, he's got a chance here.
And Everett got a pretty poor run there off turn 1. He had a massive big slide through the middle of the corner, and Cameron Hill there, he got a great drive off that corner, and he's managed to get up right beside him, but he's on the wrong side of the circuit. He's on the outside there. Emerson Vincent's also trying to put the nose in there in the number 30 Turner's car. So we come back down for turn 3.
It's so tight. It's like a freight train. Look at this. And talking to freight train, Hugo Allen is absolutely driving his caboose hard, because Hugo is up to 5th, the championship leader, 1.3 off the lead.
And the race winner from yesterday, Justin Allen, and the 3rd place getter, Harry Townsend, out of Hawke's Bay. They're having a great battle there as well, pushing on, trying to get themselves further closer towards the top 8 cars that have had a bit of a breakaway.
Josh Bethune still in 8th position. Arthur Braun in 7th. He's dropped a little. Hayden Baccaris will wait for him to show 2. Justin Allen's dropped to 11th. Thomas Mallard behind him in 12th.
Beautiful pass from Emerson Vincent there. So he's just jumped from 3rd up to 2nd. Cameron Hill, he left the door open pretty wide there and just allowed him sort of to drive through. Zach Blinko's now trying to go on the outside of Cameron Hill, but he's gotten escorted wide off the corner there.
And that's the 20 of Hayden Baccaris getting to the dirt for a moment, but he's saved it nicely. And somebody else also at the back of the field, also throwing up the dust and dirt. We watch the 43 of Cameron Hill, who's dropped now to third place. Vincent now on the attack.
Yeah, and this is getting hot and heavy like it was yesterday, isn't it, Jonathan? It's great to see. And Hugo Allen, he's still chipping away at the back of Zach Blinko there, but he's managed to clear the pack and save cars. Arthur Braun's lost a couple of spots there to Chris White Jr. and to Josh Bethune, but as we come back to start another lap, Chris White Jr. now on the inside of Josh Bethune. Bethune's quite wide there on the exit of turn 1.
Yeah, let's see if he gets a drive, yeah.
And the championship leader, Hugo Allen, he's got a great run on Zach Blinko. He's managed to pressure him into a little bit of a mistake.
He's back in behind him, and I don't think he's going to get that inside line, the Care-Bet scholarship man.
Not quite.
No, not quite.
I saw a little puff of smoke there. Someone, even though these cars have got ABS brakes, someone managed to have a little bit of lock-up, it seems, down there at turn 2. Josh Bethune there, bit of door-to-door action there, bit of biff and barge between those guys.
No harm, no foul.
No.
Nothing's racing, as they say. 32, 7th place at the moment after that little touch.
Yeah, and Hayden Backrus there as well. He's managed to stay with these guys, so he's working away at the back of Arthur Braun there, the Mackenzie Motorsport cars. They were the form cars yesterday. Certainly heaps of pace in those cars. Zach Blinko's the first of those guys there in 4th. But
talking to Blinko, he's in real trouble at the moment because there you can see right behind him Hugo Allen almost touching his rear bumper as they go back up the hill and towards Porsche for another opportunity. Here's the 88 of Chris White. He's past Arthur Braun. And around the outside goes Justin Allen in the Napa car, the 99.
Yeah, the race winner from yesterday, Justin Allen. He sort of hasn't really been able to make too much of an inroad really on this top 10, has he, Jonathan? He's still there down in 10th. Harry Townsend, one of the other podium place getters from yesterday, he finished 3rd. He's still there in 11th. So those guys obviously trying to work together a bit to try and move forward. Josh Bethune, out of everybody on the podium from yesterday, he's managed to make the most inroad, and he's up there in 7th place behind the championship leader, Hugo Allen, certainly giving him a bit of a move on. So we see here Caleb Byers in the 33 car, the South Fence Machinery Mobile. He's coming across the line. He's got Simon Hunter and Thomas Mallard all over the back of him. Simon Hunter was another guy who was really fast yesterday. He set the 2nd fastest lap of the race in the race yesterday afternoon. Thomas Mallard.
Mallard going grass tracking.
Carried a bit too much speed there. As we see there, Hugo Allen's under immense pressure from Josh Bethune, but he's also managed to get the move done on Zach Blinko. So that pressure there from Josh Bethune's managed to aid him in getting the move done. And he's moved it across.
Hugo Allen, Hugo Allen, definitely the man on the move, and it's really hard to overtake in these cars because they're all evenly yoked, remember, so it's not easy to make that move. And Hugo at the moment making the best of it, and he's got past both Blinko and Bethune, and he's flying at the moment. But hats off to Lachlan Everett. He's managed to creep up 0.4 at one point. Oh, Mallard's gone off again.
And it looks like there's a bit of damage on the right-hand side of the 8-mobile, but we see there Josh Bethune managed to get the move done on Zach Blinko. He went very defensive and lost a lot of time there to Hugo Allen, but critically he got the pass done. So he's now moved up there into 5th place. Chris White's now down the inside of Zach Blinko as well. So
yeah, those two have been going at it.
Zach Blinko is getting absolutely massacred right now.
Yeah,
he's lost 3 spots in the last 5 or so corners. So he's clearly struggling there with that car, not quite got the speed at the moment in this part of the race. As Chris White Jr. tries to go around the outside, those pack and save cars have been joined at the hip.
Absolutely.
Arthur Braun right there is in the fight there as he's trying to now look up the inside, Jonathan.
Yep, halfway stage of this race coming up. Lachlan Everett with a 0.3 of a lead over Emerson Vincent. Is now up to 0.4 as they cross the line again. Hugo Allen gets up to 4th place. Bethune, Blinko and White glued together on track as they dive through turn 1 here at Hampton Downs. Race 2 of 3 for the weekend.
Yeah, exactly right. As we come back now, complete another lap 5, down the back straight. Chris White Jr. is lining up Zach Blinko for a pass. It's getting pretty tight there at the front between the top 3. They've sort of had a bit of a breakaway. Lachlan Everett, the young bloke from North Queensland in Australia, he's got a good little lead of about 4/10 over Emerson Vincent. Emerson Vincent, very accomplished karter. He's and speedway driver. He's looking to try and get another win after he took the race 2 victory. Same race at the first round there in Taupo with Cameron Hill there, another karter coming through there in 3rd. But
we know this young man.
We do. The reigning champion in this series, Tom Bewley. He's off to big big things this year in Australia, running Porsche
But
Michelin
racing here
Sprint
this
Challenge.
weekend,
Yeah, he is also in the GT New Zealand class. But as we look back, Evanet's managed to pull a bit of a lead.
Yeah,
These,
0.4.
Exactly right. And these guys here, they're going to have to start watching in the mirrors pretty soon, because Hugo Allen, our championship leader, he's now got clear air and he's now chasing after those guys. So clearly a little bit more speed in the number 17 car run by IMAC Race Engineering. He struggled a little bit yesterday, didn't qualify the best, but that's, you know, when you're fighting for a championship, these are the drives you need to have, putting yourself in those good positions and trying to attack the podium whenever you can.
Emerson Vincent, of course, a winner at Topoi in race 2 in the reverse grid there, so he's back to confidence at the moment. And Lachlan Evanet with his dad this weekend preparing the car.
They're doing a good job, and obviously there, Cameron Hill, another rookie to the series, a young guy. He's doing a great job there. He's got a good run on Emerson Vincent.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to try and fire it down the inside, but Vincent's not having a bar of it as he chops in.
Oh, nicely done. That's good defensive
Beautiful
driving.
job.
But he's still got good drivers, the 43 of Cameron Hill. Can he get the slipstream and pop out? He's putting the lights on in that intimidating fashion, but he'll need to jink to the inside. He's not going to make it around the outside. He's trying to get clean air at the moment, but he's not quite close enough to make that lunge.
And that's what this championship's all about, isn't it, Jonathan? That was a beautiful bit of racing. Those guys, they managed to go too wide, no contact through turn 1, and you know, Emerson managed to hold on to that position. So good bit of driving there from the young guy, and they look back, they've actually managed to catch Evanet a bit. Even with the battling, they've managed to do that. So great job from them. And Hugo Allen, he's having a bit of a lonely race now by himself there in 4th place. He's doing everything he can to try and chop that gap to these guys. But as we see here, Cameron Hill, he has not managed to drop away from Emerson Vincent. He's just pulling in, getting right up on the rear bumper of the number 30 car there, run by Action Motorsport.
Yeah, and in fact, the top 3 now pulling away from Hugo Allen, who's lost a little bit of time, 1.8 seconds, as they head and dive into Porsche again. And that's just what the leaders want. Sometimes when they fight like this, you can slow each other down. But for now, anyway, they've got a little bit of a break. 2 Bethune and White, Braun just behind them, and Bakaru's 8th. Justin Allen has managed to recover. He's up to 9th now. Harry Townsend has dropped, has gone up, to 10th, but Blinko has dropped to 11th. That's the big story.
Yeah, exactly right. I was just about to comment on that, Jonathan. It's surprising to say the least, really. Zach Blinko's just lost so much time. He's lost a lot of positions, and he's down there in 11th. So maybe he's battling a car issue, or the car's not quite up to where he likes in terms of the setup, because he's just, he's lost a lot of spots. But in saying that, his teammates are all ahead of him, so they're all seeming to be able to handle what the cars are doing. But maybe there's more to the story. We'll have to find out later. But as we go back to the front of the field there, and on that last lap, it's so tight there at the top, it's very hard to make inroads. The top 4 guys, 3 of them did 1 minute 50.5s, with the race leader doing a 1 minute 50.7 out there at the front. So as much as I'm sure Hugo Allen there in 4th place is wanting to try and close in on these guys, he was only marginally, maybe half a tenth faster on that last lap. So, and Josh Bethune the same as well. So those guys they've got speed, but at the moment, unfortunately for them, so we've got an issue there. Christina Allwest.
Christina Allwest, she had some problems in practice with the car, but they swapped it over overnight, and so we've now got another issue, and she stopped dead. Middle of the track too, so that's gonna bring out a safety, surely.
Well, I don't think so though, because we're lucky she's managed to pull off onto the national part of the circuit.
Gotcha.
So part of the circuit they don't actually use. So she's done a great job to get that car
good
out of the way and in a safe spot. So we might be okay. Yeah. It's very, very confusing when you look at it. You think, oh, she's on the middle of a track there, but no, she did a good job to clear it and stay out of the way. So we may, thankfully, there stay green. But
as it stands at the moment, no change at the top. Hugo Allen will increase his lead to 3:08. Bakaroos would be 2:56, and Justin Allen up to 3rd yesterday, 2:38. But Emerson Vincent would move 4th to 4 points behind Justin Allen. Bethune would be 2:15, and she's got going again.
Yeah, so she's rejoined the race. She's managed to get that car going, whatever the issue was there. Christina's done a good job to get it moving again. But as we look down, and exactly right, and this is what this championship's all about. Even if you don't quite have the speed, just getting those points, and that's exactly what Hugo Allen's doing there in 4th place. As we look back to the front, Evanet's done a great job. He's managed to pull a little bit more of a gap on Emerson Vincent, and these guys are just going absolutely hammer and tong trying to smash out those fast lap times.
Let's head down to Greg Rust in the pit lane.
Jonathan, quickly to close off your question in relation, both of you, on Zach Blinko. Just spoke to his engineer at Mackenzie Motorsport. Lost fourth gear was the answer.
Wow, there you go. That would make sense. So Zach's doing a great job then to manage not having fourth gear. It's a pretty commonly used gear around this track, and without it, he's certainly going to be struggling a fair bit for straight line speed. So great job by him to manage that and to not give up and keep pushing on.
Yeah, there's a friendly face. AJ Giddy in the number 10, the youngest competitor out there, down in 23rd place. He's just got a time penalty for track limits.
Yeah, so that's disappointing for him. He's obviously pushing the limits out there, trying his best, and he's just used a little bit too much track at some point for the officials to pick up on that. So as we look back down again, Hugo Allen's
He's
actually
closed
done
the
a
gap,
great
hasn't
job.
he, Hugo Allen?
Has. Yeah, it's he's certainly got the number 17 car going the last couple of laps, and he was one of those guys at the first round. He was very good at looking after the tyre and coming on later in the race, which again, him and Josh Bethune's actually managed to stay with him as well. That gap hasn't really changed, and those guys are chasing after those top three. They'll be hungry for podium.
Justin Allen up to 9th position in the closing stages, and we may see a few more moves in these last 2 laps as people try to get as many points out of this race too before the feature race this afternoon. Still lights blazing on the number 43.
And Cameron Hill's managed to clear Emerson Vincent, so we actually missed that, unfortunately. But he's managed to do a great job to make the pass, and he's now all over the back of the 24 car. So
it's a big change, really, isn't it?
Huge. And these right carts by M2 competition cars are coming on right at the end of this race. Josh Bethune's also got a heap of pace in the 32 car, but the 43 car of Cameron Hill, he's all over the back of Lachlan Evanett there in the 24. Evanet's not going to give this up without a fight. He's not going to want to give up
He's going to get hung out to dry, though, if he's not careful. His idea is to stay on the inside here and try and make it up the inside for the left-hander. That's exactly what he does, but he can't quite do it.
And this is what we're talking about with this class, Jonathan. So these two, they're fighting. They're going too wide in a lot of places. All this is doing is playing Emerson Vincent back into the game.
And Hugo Allen.
And Hugo Allen, our championship leader.
Right from the drone, you really see their racecraft from above and how it slows them down, but also how they're fighting, because Lachlan Evanett is in the race of his life right now, this youngster from Australia, because he is pushing hard. He's led the whole way, but we're now getting down to the time where he needs to stay ahead and he needs to stay cool.
Yeah, and maybe potentially Evanett's car was maybe set up tyre pressure-wise to come on early to try and build a gap, but he didn't quite manage to do that enough. And all these cars here, look at this.
Look at them. The throw a blanket over them. 4 of them now racing for the podium. 5 if you count the man in 5th place, Josh Bethune.
Yeah, exactly right, Jonathan. And even there, you saw Evan, he's driving through rocks and debris on the inside of the track there, trying to stay on that defensive line. And Hugo Allen, he's coming into this right at the end when it matters. 1 lap to go as they cross the start-finish line. He's going to be doing everything he can to try and snag a trophy off one of these 3 young guys.
Cracking last lap in store as they head up the hill, the famous Hampton Downs Hill, and across the line they come, and it's been Lachlan Evanett all the way so far. This is the final lap. Down into turn 1 they go, and the Australian is holding off a gaggle of 86 cars here in the championship.
And this is why we love it, Jonathan. This is what it's all about, this top 4. Final lap of this race, and Evanett's done a great job up to this point. Hugo Allen's firing it down the inside of Emerson Vincent.
He's
looking for that podium there. He's getting a rub from Cameron Hill.
He might get
Allen's
second.
now trying to go down the outside of Cameron Hill there. He's getting rubbed out of the way there. He's going to try and keep it on the outside of the circuit there as he's... Wow, and that right there, that's exactly what you want to be doing, just making clear, concise pass. I think he caught Emerson Vincent off by surprise a little bit there, because Vincent didn't really defend much going down towards turn 2 there, and Allen just right at the last second there, clean, concise, straight down the inside to manage to do that. And it's also brought Josh Bethune now into the game. He's now putting a heap of pressure on Emerson Vincent, so the young guy is going to be doing everything he can to try and hold on to that position there as we come down there for the... down at the hairpin there, and they've come together.
They've come together again. He's got it back. Nicely done by Vincent.
And that's good driving there from Vincent. He's managed to...
He's got the wipers on. He doesn't need them.
And he's thrown it back down the inside there of Josh Bethune.
Wow, this is great racing. And I tell you what, these youngsters are putting on a show of great racecraft. This is what Toyota so desperately wanted out of this championship, and they've had it for over a decade now. They are inches apart, but not giving an inch to either of them, and racing is absolutely spectacular. But Lachlan Evanet is on his way to what will be a spectacular win if he can hold on, but he's surely going to do it now.
Exactly right, and it's looking like they're drafting as they come up to the front, up across the line. Cameron Hill, he's making it close. It's going to be a photo finish.
Oh, Evanet just gets it by .074 over Cameron Hill. Vincent is third, Bethune fourth. Hugo Allen in the end has to settle for fifth place ahead of Chris White in sixth. Hayden Backaroo seventh. Justin Allen got up to eighth position. That was a good recovery from him. Boy, and Harry Townsend's disappeared and crosses the line in 18th position. But what a finish, what a race for this young Australian.
Yeah, exactly right, and that's what this series is all about, developing the next generation, the new up-and-coming talent, fresh talent, and obviously Lachlan Evanet, the young bloke from Australia, North Queensland, he got the job done and showed a little bit more of what he's made of. Beautiful drive from him. He did a great job to hold on there at the end, and he defended really, really well. And you know, I think looking a bit further down the field, Emerson Vincent, brilliant job from him as well to manage to steal that third place back off Hugo Allen on the last lap.
Confirmation then of the results. Lachlan Evanet with the win in the 24. Cameron Hill second, then Vincent, Bethune Allen. That's your top five. Chris White, the Master Champ, gets sixth place. Hayden Backaroo gets seventh. Justin Allen recovered well, actually. Got up to eighth position ahead of Arthur Braun in ninth. Mason Potter rounding out the top 10. Then it's Knowles, Hunter, Byers, Lines, Blinko all the way down to 15th. That was a disaster for him. Alice Buckley 16th. Cormac Murphy 17th. Harry Townsend, again, another disaster as he goes down. Further down, not a good day at the office for John Penny, the Master, down in 21st. Then Mallard, Giddy, or West, and Barnes. Giddy getting that 5-second penalty for track limits. Here's a look at the highlights, and right from the get-go, Lachlan Evanet. What a start. He comes across, defends his position well. Cameron Hill looks to the inside with lights blazing. Then he gets himself in a tussle with Vincent. Blinko goes round the outside. And that was pretty much when Evanet won and lost this race. But bashing and barging all through the race, just as we like it. But it was fair, good racing. I don't think there'll be any penalties for that. AJ Giddy in the 10, though, we just saw him, did get a penalty, but Vincent was right in the thick of it. And I have to say, hats off to Vincent. He really did show some muscle throughout that. He was overtaken a couple of times, but he came back. And that's what racing's all about, is, yes, you get knocked down, but you get back up again. Sadly for Thomas Mallard, going a little wide, and it got worse, because then he went even wider, and off he went. Creme de la creme. Then more bashing and bumping. Hayden Backaroo in the thick of it. 43 of Cameron Hill was right there most of the race. Here comes Hugo Allen, the championship leader, for a third place dash, and he got it. But Vincent came back at him, as I said, and he wasn't to be denied either. There he is, up the inside of 4, or the old 4. But yeah, good stuff. But really, hats off to the young Australian. He held his own and did not waver. Confidence and a photo finish was what it took for the young Aussie to take his win. Well done to him. Let's, in a moment, see these smiling faces, because I'm sure they will be, as they get out of their 86s.
Yeah, what a race. And I think as well, Jonathan, I think just looking back there through the highlights, I think Hugo Allen will probably be kicking himself a little bit, because he was on for that third place there, and just maybe defending a little bit more down at the hip and might have prevented that pass, that beautiful pass from Emerson Vincent, because then losing the spot to Josh Bethune as well, who, again, we've got to give credit to. He's been one of the constant sort of denominators across both the rounds of just having really good car speed. He finished second yesterday, obviously, and then fourth this morning. So Josh Bethune, obviously, he had some issues at the first round in terms of his results in the end, but his speed is unquestionable, and he's been incredibly fast across both these rounds to date.
Let's head down then to Stephen McIver, who's with our winner.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, when you get your first ever win in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship, it's got to be a good day, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a great way to start the year, coming over here and bagging a win pretty early. I think I can't thank the team at Action Motorsports enough. They came over, they really brought me into the team. They were very kind, and they've given me an amazing race car today. I'm happy I could turn that pole into a win.
Lachlan, you've come all the way from Townsville to run this Bridgestone GR86 Championship. What's behind running these 86s at this particular time of the year?
I think the main thing for me is just getting some laps. I think I didn't come here, expecting to do this well, but here I am. It's pretty incredible. I can get used to it. I'll go back to Australia. I'll try and do that as well. But yeah, it's pretty surreal.
Just briefly, how good were you in pressure racing? You had them all over you the whole race.
Yeah, I felt a little bit comfortable in the middle, but it really turned on in the end, and I had a lot of pressure on him. Yeah, I wasn't sure by the end, but I got it done, so I'm happy.
Congratulations, mate. Go get ready for the podium. There you go. Lachlan Evan gets his first win in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. In second place, Cameron Hill. Man, that was a hell of a drive by you, Cameron. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's my second round in race cars ever, so pretty proud of myself to get up here with all the good boys, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, when you get that advantage of the reverse grid race, does it give you a little bit of confidence?
Yeah, especially having the fastest lap yesterday. I know I could come in and win it, but a bit of defending going on, couldn't get past, but yeah, it was good racing by the boys.
Hell of a race, right? Come on.
It was awesome.
Well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
There you go, Cameron Hill. And in P3, it was Emerson Vincent. Where's Emerson Vincent? Get in here, Emerson. Come on, buddy. You've pushed yourself closer in the points tally to get into that podium, but mate, you had Hugo Allen at one stage right on your bumper.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very close race. I didn't have that pace to quite be at the front with my teammate there, so I just tried to defend his first place by defending Cam Hill off. I did what I could, but I mean, to come home with a podium, so pretty stoked with points. So,
how much fun is that racing out there, particularly these reverse grace grids, where you get a chance to show how well you can drive?
It was pretty fun. I mean, sometimes there's always like everyone battling, and it's hard to set some lap times and hard to be fast at the front. But it's pretty good racing though with everyone as equal as each other. So yeah.
Congratulations on P3, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
Alrighty, time for the podium for race 2, round 2 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship here at Hampton Downs. And the trophies today presented by Mark Keane, the wholesale manager of consumer tyres for New Zealand in Bridgestone. And in third place, please welcome Emerson Vincent. In second place, Cameron Hill. And in first place, all the way from Townsville, and his very first Bridgestone GR86 Championship win, Lachlan Evans. And that is your official podium for race 2, round 2 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship.
Just as it was planned, 3 youngsters on the podium and giving it their all, 1, 2, and 3. And the championship is hotting up nicely. Here's how it stands. Hugo Allen now on 3:03. Hayden Baccarus, who's already had a win this year on 2:59. Justin Allen stays third with 2:41. But Emerson Vincent is starting to show. He's 7 ahead of Josh Bethune. Chris White, 6. Arthur Broad in 7th place, 193. Blinko, Potter, then Hill, and Harry Townsend. Not a good result in that race, but he's still in the hunt. Then it's Penny, the first of the Masters, and a couple of rookies there too. Buckley just ahead of Cooper Barnes, one of the rookies. Caleb Byers, Hunter, Everett, after that win, moves to 108, equal with Lines. And then further down, Cormac Murphy, I'll say it again, 22nd. Christina All West, 23rd. Will Morton, Malin, and Giddy.